Before we get into today's Ohio State football update, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the Buckeye community right here on the channel, because we cover Ohio State football every single day, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about something Buckeye fans have been waiting to hear. Ohio State has officially been given clarity on one of the biggest questions heading into the 2026 season: how far behind, if at all, are the Buckeyes from defending national champion Indiana? And the answer might surprise you. As the 2025 college football season fades into history and early projections for 2026 start rolling in, one national analyst is pushing back hard against the idea that Indiana has created some massive gap at the top of the Big Ten. According to CBS Sports, Ohio State is not only still in the conversation, they might actually be on equal footing from a talent standpoint. Let's break it all down. Indiana shocked the college football world in 2025. A perfect season, a national championship, a Cinderella run that felt more like a movie script than reality. Under Curt Cignetti, the Hoosiers didn't just win, they dominated, finishing 16-0 and taking down Miami in the college football playoff title game. Normally, a season like that creates fear across the conference. Programs fall back, talent leaves, and regression hits hard. But here's the key point: Indiana didn't collapse, and neither did Ohio State. CBS Sports Buckeyes believes Indiana will remain a national contender in 2026, but he also makes one thing very clear: Ohio State is not chasing from behind. In fact, when it comes to raw talent, the Buckeyes may still have the most stacked roster in college football. Indiana does deserve credit. They retained major defensive pieces, including key leaders at linebacker and along the defensive line. Continuity on defense is massive in modern college football, and keeping their defensive coordinator only strengthens that side of the ball. However, Indiana also faces real uncertainty. They're replacing a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a generational player who carried the offense at the most critical moments. The new transfer quarterback has experience and versatility, but replacing a player of that caliber is never automatic, no matter how confident the staff feels. Meanwhile, Ohio State enters 2026 with stability at the most important position on the field. Julian Sayin is back, and not only is he back, he's coming off a breakout year that showed exactly why Ohio State invested in him. His arm talent, pocket awareness, and ability to elevate the offense are unquestioned. More importantly, he now has a full season of experience leading the Buckeyes through both highs and lows. And yes, he still has Jeremiah Smith. Smith enters his third year as one of the most dangerous receivers in college football. His development has been everything Ohio State hoped for and more. He's bigger, faster, more physical, and smarter in his route running than he was as a freshman. The big question, though, isn't Smith. It's who steps up next to him. Ohio State's offense in 2026 will look different, and that's where skepticism creeps in. With Brian Hartline no longer in the building, Ryan Day made one of the most fascinating hires of his career: Arthur Smith, former NFL head coach, now running the Buckeyes offense. That move brings upside and pressure. Smith has to solve two major problems quickly. First, the pecking order at wide receiver behind Jeremiah Smith. Ohio State has talent in that room, but talent doesn't automatically equal chemistry. Someone has to emerge as a reliable second and third option, especially in big game situations. Second, the offensive line. Specifically at guard, Ohio State has dealt with inconsistency inside over the last two seasons, and that weakness showed up when competition ramped up. Smith's offense depends on physical control at the line of scrimmage, and until that's locked in, questions will remain. Still, it's impossible to ignore the pieces Ohio State has assembled. Defensively, the Buckeyes may have quietly put together one of the best transfer portal hauls in the country. Edge rushers from Alabama, defensive linemen with SEC experience, linebackers and defensive backs from Power 5 programs who are expected to start immediately. This isn't depth for depth's sake, these are impact players. Ohio State's defense in 2026 should be faster, deeper, and more physical than what we saw in 2025. And that matters, because last season exposed a major flaw. Ohio State's regular season schedule in 2025 did not prepare them for elite competition. Games against UCLA, Rutgers, Purdue, Minnesota, and even Penn State failed to test the Buckeyes in meaningful ways. Those matchups didn't force schematic adjustments. They didn't demand physical dominance. And they didn't simulate postseason intensity. When Ohio State finally faced Indiana and Miami, the difference was obvious. The Buckeyes weren't ready. The offense looked out of sync. The physicality wasn't there. The coaching staff struggled to adjust in real time, and the gap between regular season performance and postseason execution was undeniable. That won't be the case in 2026. Ohio State's schedule is brutal, and that's a good thing. Texas, Indiana, USC, Oregon, Michigan, there will be no hiding. No excuses. No illusions created by soft matchups. By the time Ohio State reaches the postseason next year, everyone will know exactly what this team is, contender or pretender. And that pressure doesn't just apply to the players. It applies to Ryan Day. Day enters 2026 with one of the most talented rosters in the nation, a new offensive coordinator with NFL credentials, and a schedule that will demand elite coaching every single week. The margin for error is gone. If Ohio State rises to the challenge, they won't just close the gap with Indiana, they could reclaim control of the Big Ten and put themselves right back in the national title conversation. If they don't, the questions around leadership, staff cohesion, and postseason preparedness will only grow louder. So here's the bottom line. Indiana earned their championship. They deserve respect. They're not going anywhere, but Ohio State isn't chasing them from behind. The Buckeyes have the quarterback, the receiver, the defensive depth, the recruiting power, and now, the schedule to prove it all. 2026 won't be about projections or excuses. It will be about answers. And by the end of the regular season, we'll know exactly where Ohio State stands.